Welcome back for another episode of Tat Nation. I'm here with Kyle Nash. This is our first virtual podcast that we've done. And today we're going to be talking about 7 reasons not to wait to sell your home during this holiday season. I'll just jump right into it here, Kyle. And if you want to butt in, go ahead. So,
okay.
Number 1, buyers are now active. Mortgage rates are historically low, providing motivation for those who are ready to get more for their money over the life of their home loan.
Yeah. Just really quick on that. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but something as a buyer you need to think about is, if you're getting pre-approved now, what does it look like in 6 months? If the rates go up or the prices go up, is your budget going to go up too? I mean, generally not everyone's getting a raise every 3 months or 6 months. And so you might need to move now as opposed to, hey, 6 months down the road, my house prices, like the average house price goes up 10 to 20 grand. And now I can't afford it because it's out of my budget. And also rates went up. So now I really can't afford to buy a house. So it's honestly, nobody has a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's just kind of something you need to move on sooner rather than later, unless you're anticipating a big raise or something like that. Then maybe that might be worth it for you to say, okay, I might lose out on 10 to 20 grand, but I can now afford 50 to 60 grand more. So I get more house. So.
Number 2, Purchasers who look for homes during the holiday season are serious ones and they're ready to buy. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most people, it's kind of built into a year, in most places that have 4 seasons, that spring and summertime, that's generally when people like to look at their houses. That's when their houses are more well kept and they like to actually, they start thinking, well, hey, this is a nice house. Like I'm keeping good care of it. And I think people would want to see it. And then that's when more people are active too. Less holidays happening. So it's also a better time for people to just be out there and not have to schedule around holidays. So, I mean, obviously we got Thanksgiving coming up this week and then Christmas in a month. So that can make it a little bit more difficult for buyers in this time. So when they're really looking and they want to get something, they want to get it now. And they usually have a pretty dang good reason why they need to get into a house in the wintertime when it's the most difficult time to actually move and all that kind of stuff in Spokane. So
100%. Number 3, you can restrict the showings in your house to days and times that are most convenient for you. And we also have virtual options as well, virtual walkthroughs that we could send to our clients who are interested in buying. You'll remain in control, especially in today's seller market.
Well, I guess, can you read that again? As a buyer, you can determine the times you want to go see houses, or
this is as a seller. So if you're the seller,
okay, yeah,
restrict the show.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah. So yeah, as a seller, you can tell your agent, hey, I don't want to do showings from this time to this time, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to work based on people's convenience, not like whether a buyer needs to go see a house. I mean, it all has to line up. And so that's why you have agents kind of talking to each other and say, look, like my buyer's only going to take 15, 20 minutes to get in this house. I mean, is that something that, your sellers could just go on a quick little walk around the neighborhood or something like that?
Right.
That's where, just talk to them. So
Number 4, homes decorated for the holidays appeal to many buyers. And to me, with this one, it's like, if you're selling your home, I don't know why you'd be decorating for Christmas and putting up the lights and going through all that work, but maybe if they're buying down the road, I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think, I mean, most people react on emotion, not logic, right? Mm-hmm. So when they're walking through a house and they're seeing that this house is decorated the way that they might decorate it for Christmas time or something like that, that's, the holidays is when families are together and you're creating those memories. And so you're just kind of eliciting that response from somebody when they're walking through a house. You're thinking, okay, I can see myself living here. Whereas opposed to spring and summertime, you're really thinking, okay, I need to attract people to be on the outside of the house because most people want to be outside doing things outside of the house. So, yeah, I think there's strategies on both ends. And I think people decorating for holidays it makes sense because if I'm a seller, I'm not going to bank on my house selling in the holiday season either. So I don't want to just completely like say, oh, well, now I can't even have Christmas or Thanksgiving in my house because it's for sale. And so does that mean I don't want to like decorate and still try to create those memories with my family? I don't think so. I'd still rather do that. So plus there's other ways to, schedule things out. Like, most people, they want to buy, and if they want to be in before Christmas, you really have to work that out with the seller, because sometimes what if the seller wants to stay in for Christmas?
Right.
So
100%. Maybe they just want to sell it and go to Hawaii or something.
they could, yeah, that could be a thing too.
Be
What's that one movie, Four Christmases, where they're just like, peace, we're out for like a couple weeks and we have we have excuses why we can't see our family for the holidays. Like, okay, give yourself a good excuse.
I have bad foot odor.
Yeah. Nice.
Number 5, there just aren't enough houses on the market to satisfy buyer demand, meaning sellers are in the driver's seat. Over the past year, inventory has declined to record lows, making it the opportune time to sell your house. See graph below. And I'll pull up this graph, see if I can share my screen really quick. This is just a graph of the inventory here. I haven't done this in a while. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so this apparently is a graph of the last 12 months. And this isn't Spokane, this is national, but it just kind of goes to show, it goes,
yeah.
July was really low. And as you can see, we're still declining month over month here. 18.6, 19.2, 19.8. So,
well, you got to think of what, first off, what months have big holidays in them? July, you got 4th of July. A lot of people go camping for a couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they're out of town for those weeks. And then you've got other big months too. So supply is obviously going to keep going lower and lower and lower. But unless we can get some builders out there that are just going to keep building, but that supply is also pretty low too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Number 6, we got the desire to own a home doesn't stop buyers during the holidays. Buyers who have been searching throughout the fall have been running into more and more bidding wars, are still on the lookout. Your home may be the answer.
Yeah. Obviously with less activity, you're going to have less of a chance of a big bidding war, but you still may get somebody who's been looking for the last 3 months and couldn't get into anything.
Right.
And then they're just willing to say, you know what? I don't even care if a buyer comes in or another person comes in to make an offer. I want to be the best offer and I want this house. So a lot of buyers are probably still paying that 20 to 30 grand over asking price just to say, I don't even want to risk having another buyer come in. I just want to be that offer that seller just says, yep, we'll take it.
Right. Number 7, this season is the sweet spot for sellers, and the number of listings will increase after the holidays. In many parts of the country, more new construction will also be available for sale in 2021, which will lessen the demand for your house next year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing. And we just went over this with some of the agents here is, you got the same size pond, right? And you've got fishermen and fish. Mm-hmm. And the way I look at it is, in the winter season, you have this pond right here that has a bunch of fishermen trying to get a fish. So in my example, that analogy is all the fishermen are the buyers, all the fish are the houses. Now, if you keep restocking that lake with fish, that's the new construction that just keeps coming in and creating some more inventory. But generally, it's the same amount. Like, we're not seeing, we're seeing a pretty dramatic decrease in everything. And I'll run over the numbers here right after this. But, generally, it's not so drastic that it drops like 50%. There's still going to be houses on the market. So would you rather be a fisherman in a lake with a bunch of other fishermen trying to catch the same fish, or a fisherman in the lake with everyone else is out and they're done, or they don't want to buy a house at this point, and you could still get a house? Like, what are you willing to put up with there? So I know it's a little weird analogy, but it's kind of the best one I can come up with.
No, it definitely makes sense if you fish.
Yeah, if you fish.
Nobody likes to get skunked.
Right.
So you want to hear the numbers?
Yeah, I'll talk about the numbers. Again, kind of like what we mentioned.
Actually, I could pull it up really quick. I might be able to pull it up really fast.
Okay.
Let me just present.
And I'll talk about it too, because I got it pulled up on my screen too. So so for active listings, again, we're down 69. So net loss of 69 houses. New listings, or actually not houses. So I know this is something we were talking about with somebody else was saying, well, there's not that many active listings. Well, we're actually including all types of listings, not just houses. We're talking about land, other deals that are out there on the MLS. This is just active listings on our MLS. So
Can you see this on my screen?
Yep, I can see that. So, like I said, active listings were down, net loss of 69. New listings were down a net loss of 45. So yeah, we're just down in all the categories. Nothing surprising here, honestly. This is what it's going to be like for the next couple months until January and February start rolling around and New Year comes around and people want to put their house on the market. So
Yeah,
yep.
second, third week in a row now. Declines in all categories.
Yeah, I think last week was the first week that all categories were a net loss. I think the week before we had the closed category was actually up a little higher. So yeah. So
well, here's the bottom line.
I got.
Yeah, here's the bottom line. More than ever, this may be the year it makes the most sense to list your house during the holiday season. Let's connect today to determine if selling now is your best move. Get with a top agent today.
Yep. I just got another listing. We're going to be going live next week. So, it's one of those things people got to sell, especially renters. If they're getting out of their house right now, and then their lease is ending in the new year, they're some of those sellers want to just get rid of their house. They want to unload them. So do it. We'll help you out.
Very cool. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Have a safe Thanksgiving, and we'll see you.
No cheeseburgers for us today. So.
No, not for the next couple of weeks, man.
Not for the next couple of weeks. So, all right. Thanks, Connor.
All right, Kyle. Happy holidays, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You too. Take it easy.